I'm standing on Mayersfield Gardens, and behind me is the house where the famous Dr. Sigmund Freud used to live. And I'm reminded of the anecdote when Professor Richard Buckminster Fuller, who was a celebrated American philosopher, mathematician, and his students once asked him to name the most important figure of the 20th century. Without a moment's hesitation, he said, Sigmund Freud. When they were shocked and they said, Freud, why not Einstein? Fuller explained himself. Freud, he said, introduced the single greatest idea upon which all the significant developments of the 20th century have rested, and that is that the invisible is more important than the visible. You would have never had Einstein, Fuller argued, if Freud hadn't convinced the world of this truth first. You would have never had nuclear physics, and so on and so forth. Freud's idea that the invisible is infinitely more important and consequential than the visible is profoundly Jewish. In fact, it's the greatest revolution Judaism has brought to the world. You see, without Torah, the world is nothing but a product of random chance, of a disordered and unpredictable chaos. Without Torah, humanity came into being for no reason, and thus we exist for no reason, and just as we came into being, so too will disappear into nothingness for no reason. Judaism, on the other hand, taught humanity a radical lesson. Contrary to the invisible being construed as inconsequential, beneath the surface there is Hashem Echad, a oneness, an all-powerful, compassionate God who created the universe and us with purpose and love, and who calls on us to live a life filled with love. Love of God, love of our neighbor, love of a stranger, love of family, and love of goodness. So as we wrap year 5781 up, a year of battling an invisible virus called COVID-19, perhaps it's time to internalize the message. We need to emphasize the invisible over the physical, i.e. to internalize a sense of God. For the upcoming year, let's resolve to allow a higher power, an invisible power, to flow through us. And with this energy, we will have a much greater impact on our actions in 5782, culminating with the ultimate purpose, which is bringing Mashiach now. Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova.